Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Splatoon 2. Last time we started our adventure here in Octo Canyon, already completing 2 levels here in the single player mode. And this episode we're going to go ahead and continue on and see what's past these boxes. First, look at the birds. They look so cute. Get out of here. Gonna be destroying these boxes. It's not a place for birds. You don't want to be inked up. Imagine trying to fly with that ink. Man, those birds will barely get off the ground. This stuff is heavy. So let's go ahead and shoot open this portal and go ahead and explore our 3rd level here. Sunset Octocopter. Dash and jump. So, as you can already tell by the name, this level is going to have a lot of platforming in it. That's the one thing I like about the Splatoon single players. There's a lot of interesting platforming in these levels, which is a lot of fun. So, we have our introduction of dash tracks. Go ahead and jump on one of these, and you get a lot of speed forward. So I really like the idea of the dash tracks. They're a lot of fun, and as you'll see later in this level, they just really like to combo chain you on these dash panels. You'll just jump off of one after another after another. You get a lot of speed and it looks very flashy. But here we have ourselves a ride rail. So these rails here basically will send you forward at all times. So think of it kind of like grinding from, say, like the Sonic series, for example. You'll go pretty quick forward, and since it's automatic, you're mostly going to be worrying about on those rails just refilling your ink when you can, because you go in squid form on these rails as well, and you can refill ink. But more importantly, you're also going to be worried about just the surroundings, maybe shooting stuff along the way. So ink rails are pretty fun to ride on, to be honest. These ink pistons here, we have to go ahead and wait a bit. Since they're on cycles, we have to wait until they come back in before we can go ahead and cross. And over there, if I throw a bomb... Oh, I just missed it. I'll be able to get on the rebound. It's not too big of a deal, but we want to go ahead and break open that that box because it does have something important in it. So let's go ahead and make our way over to this checkpoint. And over here, there's a little lip we can go ahead and jump off, which will give me a Sardinian on the other side. So that's really helpful. Let me just see. Can I just throw a bomb from here? There we go. I almost got the enemy, too. That would have been interesting. Let's just get down here and grab myself the extra armor. Why not? So, I'm going to go ahead and mention something here, actually. The reason why we start off with Marie in this game in particular, you would think maybe it's just a random little thing. Like, they chose Marie maybe because she was more popular or something from the first game. No, actually, the reason why we have Marie, it kind of goes into some Splatoon lore in the way. In Splatoon, every month there's an event happening called Splatfest. And Splatoon 1 had about a year's worth of Splatfest happening. And for their final Splatfest, we had Callie versus Marie, so players had to choose which out of the 2 Squid Sisters they preferred. Did they like Callie more, or did they like Marie more? And at the end, the winning team for that Splatfest was Marie. So, that actually was very important to see who was going to win that Splatfest in particular, because the victor from that Splatfest is who they chose, basically, to rep Splatoon 2 single-player mode in particular. So, because Marie was the one who won the Splatfest, that is why we're actually using Marie here as our partner character this time around. Because in Splatoon 1, you remember we had a partner character called Captain Cuttlefish. And he does make an appearance in Splatoon 2. He's actually in a different mode this time around, so we won't be seeing him in this mode, but we will be seeing him later on. But Cuttlefish was our main companion from Splatoon 1. This time around, they want to have one of the 2 Squid Sisters be your companion. And since Marie was the one who won the Splatfest, we have her, which I'm fine with. When I played that Splatfest in Splatoon 1, I did choose Team Callie. Because in Splatoon 1, I liked both of the announcers, but I favored Callie just slightly more, which is why I repped Team Callie. But Marie does make a great companion in this game. She does have a lot of good quotes in this one. She has a really good sense of humor. A lot of the jokes she throws out are really good. I'm really just happy with her as a companion as a whole in this game. She just really fits this area well, and we'll see more of what I'm talking about later on. We're moving! Emerald Knights will be moving to a new location soon. Many thanks to our loyal customers for your support. Yes, that sunken sea scroll is kind of one of the major problems I have with the sea scrolls this time around, is that some of them in this game, they're kind of filler, if you want to be honest. That one didn't really tell us anything useful or important about the Splatoon lore. It's just like, hey, we're moving. Yeah, okay. Because the Inkopolis Square for this game is different from the one Splatoon 1, so that's pretty much saying that the weapon store did move between games. Not really something you need to comment on. But looks like Marie here is fascinated with these signs. What do you got to say? You know, you remind me of Agent 3. If Agent 3 was like 2 years older and practiced basic hygiene. Ooh, sick burn. I still can't believe you never heard of the Squid Sisters. You're messing with me, right? I just can't forgive the Octarians for what they've done. I tell you what's written on the sign, but my Octarian's pretty rusty. Wouldn't have the boss remind if I abandoned my post for just a minute to go freshen up. Huh? Sorry, I was daydreaming about the good old days. The Great Zapfish isn't going to save itself, although it would be rad if it did. So after a while, you keep on talking to her, she'll give you different quotes, but then she'll start muttering to herself here. And then she'll either compliment you or bash you in some way. Then she can do things like this, talk about a nice slice of pineapple-free pizza from the future. That right there is actually referencing a Splatfest from the first Splatoon game. That actually is referencing 2 in particular. The past versus future Splatfest along with the pineapple on pizza Splatfest. So that's a nice touch. Once in a while she'll reference Splatfest in her dialogue, and I do like that. I think it's time for us to finally take on the first boss. The Industrial Toast into the Octo Oven. So since it's our first boss fight, we're going to be getting into how bosses work in this game in particular. So starting off, you start over here away from where the boss is. You only have 1 checkpoint. So every time you die, you do have to jump back into the boss arena. But they do give you a checkpoint in between each phase. Each boss does have 3 phases to them. So luckily, if you die, you don't have to redo the entire fight. You do start back, though, at the very beginning each time. You have to jump back over and re-ink your territory. As you see, jumping in, we had a Zapfish just sitting there. All of a sudden, this tentacle comes out of nowhere, sucks it up, and becomes the 425 degrees of pain, the Octo Oven. So this Octo Oven here pretty much is just a giant old thing of bread in an oven. It's a very creative looking boss, I will give it that, but the gimmick to this guy is you have to wait out his attacks. And wait a little bit, the bread will fully pop out, saying, hey, basically I'm done. I'm going to try to kill you while I'm done, but it doesn't work. You have to climb on the sides of the bread along onto the top here, so you can go ahead and shoot the tentacle. Shoot it 3 times, and the boss is dead. Also, Marie loves to make food puns in this fight, so hope you like the food puns. There's going to be a lot of them. But after each hit, this boss will start to get more aggressive. So as you see here in second phase, this boss not only gained more armor, so it's going to be a little harder to climb up now, but it does have these extra things of damaging ink pedestals around, so you gotta be very careful not to hit those side pedestals. They hurt. So now that this boss is ready to attack, let's go ahead and ink up some of the bread. Gotta go a little bit around here this time around, but not really that big of a deal. We can now go ahead and start shooting up this tentacle. But now it's time for phase 3. And phase 3 here takes a little bit longer to get to the top, and you'll see why here in just a moment. But this is definitely the most aggressive version of this fight. This guy puts armor on his bread. I don't think that's going to be that effective, if you want to be honest, because if you put metal on your bread, it's not going to cook evenly, buddy. That's probably not going to be the best tasting bread. So in third phase, as you see there, he starts shooting out this ink from this little pillar he's going to swing around. Be very careful not to get rained on by this ink. It hurts a lot. So that did take up some time, and it did cover a lot of the field with enemy ink. Now, whenever I can, I'm going to take some extra time here just to ink the floor around me so I have more maneuverability. So let's just go ahead and wait out this boss fight a bit more. And he's about ready to do his final attack. So ink up the bread. Let's climb up it and do one more thing of damage to the top tentacle. Let's go ahead and shoot it up. And that's our first boss fight in the books. This guy is toast. I told you you shouldn't put the metal on your bread. It didn't cook evenly enough. Now it's all burnt. No one wants to eat burnt bread. Burnt bread's the worst. It's so hard. It just does not taste good at all. So after you beat a boss, they will drop some power eggs, and they also do drop a sardinium. So the collectibles in this fight are free. You literally just have to play the boss fight, and you're going to get the sardinium. It's that easy. Good work, Agent 4. I sure know how to pick them. Gotta hand to the Octarians, though. I didn't expect them to have fully operational octobosses at their disposal. I think it's time to call in the big guns. Let's see here. Sheldon, can you hear me? Over. I hear you loud and clear, Marie. Over. Oh man, this is so cool! Agent 4, I'm Sheldon from Arrow Knights, the only weapon shop in Inkopolis with over 542 million years of trusted service. That's right, stop by Ammo Knights in Inkopolis Square for all your weapon needs. Tell me Sheldon sent you. Marie told me everything. I think that my signature weapons can be the help of the new Squidbeak Splatoon. Oh man, I'm honored. But I'm afraid I can't just let you treat my vast arsenal like all-you-can-eat buffet. I do have a business to run, you know. So let's help each other out. I want you to test out some of my new weapons I'm currently developing. All you have to do is use them in the real-world conditions. And if you do that for me, I'll be able to gather all sorts of amazing data. That data will help me get the approvals I need to make retail versions of the weapons. And once the retail versions are out, you can use them in turf war battles. It's a real win-win, don't you think? Oh yeah, and... Okay, down boy. I think Agent 4 gets the point. Let's get back to work, Agent 4. Stay fresh. So now that we've beaten the first boss fight of the game, Sheldon's going to be joining in with our quest here. So, you'll see what Sheldon gets to help us with out in just a moment. But more importantly, after we beat the first boss, we can go ahead and use the Armor Knight's Enhancifier next to the Cuttlefish Cabin. It's a top-of-the-line vending machine that can enhance your weapons and add bombs to your arsenal. The Enhancifier doesn't take cash, it takes power eggs and sardinium instead. So that's the big reason why I've been going on my way to collect as many power eggs as I can, because this upgrading station right here pretty much is what we need to go to every time we want to go ahead and upgrade our weapons. So we go ahead and use the Ammonite Enhancifier, and as you can see, things are pretty costly. 800 to upgrade our weapon, 1,000 eggs to upgrade our ink tank, and 500 eggs for each bomb upgrade, along with some sardinium we need each time too. So the sardinium aren't going to be that bad to get, but it's those dang power eggs. They're so high this time around. But once you upgrade something, you go ahead and mess around here. We got 3 different targets we can go ahead and shoot. And each one is a different strength, the orange being the weakest, and then the purple being the strongest. So you can test out how strong your weapons are by coming over here and just messing around with these little targets. So that's pretty much what that section of the level can do. And every time you want to come back, you can actually pause your game with the X button and just jump over to the manhole here in particular, which will get you right back to the very beginning and also allow you to mess around with your enhancifier. So I will be going back to that station later on, probably, so I can go ahead and unlock more stuff, because right now I can't afford anything. So let's just go ahead and make our way to the next world in the game. So we're leaving the Tenakil outpost and making our way to the Suction Cup Lookout, the second world of Splatoon 2. So since we beat our first one, Suction Cup Lookout here is a lot bigger in comparison, and this is the point where they start adding a lot more levels. So there's a lot more for us to explore this time around, but I'm also going to be going on my way a little bit more and exploring around this area too whenever we can. But for right now, I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and open up some levels. So I'm going to actually make my way over here first, and I don't think this is the level we're supposed to be going to next. I'm going to be doing my best to go out of my way and play these levels in order, but this time around, I feel like the levels are so spaced out. It's a little bit harder to figure out where you need to go in particular for some of these things. So I'm going to go ahead and just ink up this wall, climb up, and let's go ahead and reveal here the next level, which is level 5. I don't want to play that one just yet. Let me see if I can actually catch up with this green balloon. I might be able to actually get this all now. I gotta hurry. These are on set timers. They don't stay here forever, so you have to be quick. I almost missed that too, and that was the worst part. As you can see, they move fast when they're starting to get away from you. Come on, hit it. Oh, I barely got that balloon. Let's go ahead and climb up this wall, and there you go. That is our sunken scroll. So that's another one down. There are 5 hub worlds in total for the single player here, so there's going to be 5 stickers in total we're going to be collecting. And that's sticker number 2. And now, let's go ahead and make our way over here real quick, because in these set of boxes here in front of us, it's actually where the sardinium is. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab the sardinium now that we're right here. These stupid taped up boxes, man, they take forever to break. They're unnecessarily long to break. I don't like them. In all honesty, they don't really add a challenge. They're just kind of an annoyance. Let's go ahead and break these blue balloons, break them all in a pattern, and then a normal balloon will pop up, give you 5 power eggs. Nothing very special about that, but hey, it's nice because I need as many of those dang things as I can get so I can go ahead and upgrade my gun. So let's make our way over to this section and try to find ourselves level 4. I do believe level 4 is close by though. It might actually be this next one up ahead. Careful of this gap here. Very easy to jump off and just fall to your death. Luckily, there's no lives here in the hub, so if you die, all you're really losing out is the progress that you made in terms of exploration. You'll just be sent back to the beginning of the hub. Now here, level 4, enter the Octo Hurler. Let it roll. Let's go ahead and begin our first level of World 2. What's this? This is different. Okay, take this with you. Help me gather some practical battle data. This is the Hero Roller. You can fling a big wall of ink while on the ground with the ZR button. Or you can press ZR in midair to fling a longer, narrow string of ink. You can also hold ZR while moving the roll ink all over the ground. So this is the introduction of our new set of weapons. Splatoon 1 had you playing through every single level in the game with just the hero shot. That was it. But in Splatoon 2, we're changing things around. Each level can have a different weapon for you to use, and this one, we get to play with the roller. So luckily, we don't just have to go ahead and use a basic weapon this entire game. That's the one major change I'm very thankful for in Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 1, you had to buy the amiibos if you wanted to play all the single player levels with different weapons. And even then, not all the weapons were available in single player, and not all levels were available to play with different weapons. About half of them, I like to say, maybe even less. That's pretty much all you had for custom weapons, and even then it was just the roller and the charger. That was it. Splatoon 2, each level you can have a different weapon, and there's a lot of them you can get in single player this time around. This is a big change I'm very happy about, to be honest. It does add a new dynamic to these levels. But let's go ahead and explain the basics here of this weapon in particular, the roller. Roller's a pretty interesting weapon if you want to be honest, because the roller here, it's pretty slow. You can think of it kind of more like a shotgun in particular, because it doesn't really do that much in terms of range, but it does do a lot of damage in general with these flings. And also for inking, you can easily get a lot of ink coverage going on by just rolling around with this thing. So it's a really, really powerful weapon up close. Not the best in distance, but it's also really good for covering ink. And in Splatoon 2, they did change the roller a bit compared to the first game. So in the first game, you would move at a set speed, no matter how long you've been rolling around. In Splatoon 2, the longer you use your roller on the ground, the faster you start to walk. And that is a big difference in comparison to Splatoon 1's roller control. I personally like this more, just simply because it does make the roller a little bit better in general in terms of inking stuff. There'll be a lot of moments in Splatoon 1 where you become kind of vulnerable using the roller, but in Splatoon 2, those vulnerability moments are a little bit less now because of the faster rolling speeds. Not just that, but being able to do 2 different kinds of flings is actually very interesting, because these flings in general, they do add a different dynamic to things in general. I do like it. But here we have ourselves a new special, this Stingray. I did actually use this one in the previous levels, so this is my first chance to actually get to talk about it. Stingray is a pretty interesting one because it's a kill me laser basically that will go through walls. It's a very interesting weapon. In fact, actually, it's pretty weak here in the single player because this is the strength using the Stingray that was in the game at launch. Single player was never really changed much in terms of balancing updates and also just different patches in general. Everything about single player has pretty much been the same since day one. But for multiplayer, they actually did give a major buff to the Stingray because originally when this game came out, Stingray kind of sucked, to be honest. Like, it was a good thing to use in terms of pressuring your opponents because the Stingray was able to go through walls, you were able just to hide in a spot and just shoot people with your Stingray, trying to push them back. But it wasn't really that good of a killing move, to be honest. In fact, here, you're kind of noticing what I'm talking about because the longer we have our Stingray out, the worse it seems to do in general. Stingray is not really the best until I got that major buff, to be honest, because it is really hard to kill enemies with it. It's not that bad in the single player mode here because I feel like Stingray works a little bit better here since I feel like the enemies here, these Octarians, don't have as much health as you do in the multiplayer of the game. So I feel like it does balance itself out a little bit. But that buff that they gave this weapon for multiplayer was a huge difference for the weapon in general. Stingray used to be one of my least favorite specials in the game, and after that buff, it became one of my favorites. It's just that good for multiplayer now. Well, there you go. That was level 4 in the bag. So that was our first level actually using a new type of weapon from Sheldon. So now we can go ahead and use the roller in any of the previous levels. So there you go. Not only was that a new level down, but a new weapon in our arsenal as well. Let me check your weapon log. Yep, the data's coming through. Oh man, this is really good stuff. The more data you get me, the quicker I can finalize my retail version. So keep it up. But remember, this is just a loaner. I'm not running a charity here. Good luck, Agent 4. So now we can go ahead and use the hero roller both in previous levels and the hub. So we can go ahead and upgrade our weapons, including the ones we unlock at the Arrow Knight's Enhanced Fire. Or we can just go ahead and keep on upgrading our old ones too. And also our bombs and ink, but you get the picture by now. This looks like a do-it-yourself guide for starting your own mobile business. It looks new, but somebody must have been frying something near it. It has some grease stains on it. Yeah, it's a little greasy. Thanks, Krusty Sean. I knew it was you. Stop inking up our stuff and greasifying things. That's just disgusting. So I'm going to go ahead and super jump over here to level 5. And with that, I'm actually going to go ahead and end the episode on this note. I'm going to grab me that little balloon. And I'll grab this one here too, because why not? And with that said, next time on Let's Play Splatoon 2, we're going to go ahead and start level 5 in the game. The Octo Park. I'll see you guys next time.